Hello everybody, my name's Kamen and welcome back to the unboxing, where today we got more Kamen Riders. That's right, I've got a premium Bandai shipment of another Kamen Rider figure, and I'm really excited to get it out for you guys. So, why don't you join me as we take a look at a figure that'll hopefully be a bit of a redemption arc for another figure that I kinda disrespected a little bit. That's right, today we are taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Shinkocchou Seihou Kamen Rider Kaixa. Here we have Kaixa in the flesh, and I know I'm probably very, very late to the party. I tend to buy from the US side of like places to purchase from, which does mean I tend to get my import figures a little bit later than a lot of other people, but it works out for me and my personal like purchasing schedules and whatnot. It's been nice relatively recently because Premium Bandai has made getting those P Bandai Kamen Riders a little bit easier recently. Obviously, there's still P Bandai orders, but, you know, and usually since Kamen Rider isn't the most popular in the West, I'm able to wait until basically the end of the pre-order run to decide whether or not I want to order an item. This was a bit weird, because when it went up for pre-order, it sold at like 3 in the morning. It sold out within minutes, in its first run at least. So I couldn't get the initial run, which apparently shipped, I believe, in May of this year, of 2026. But thankfully they did do a second run that was far more available, so I was able to pick that up pretty quickly, and I'm able to have a Kaixa for my shelf. Thank goodness, especially since I have Fies from last year. I'm not getting every Fies Rider, but I think I'm going to have to get the main TV ones because the base mold was so good. So hopefully this one lives up to it. As you can tell, right at the outset, we have the usual premium Bandai shipper with the S.H.Figuarts Tamashii Web Shop logo. Bandai Namco right there, a little barcode, recycle the box. This is purely for protection, but here it says Kamen Rider Kaixa, or Masked Rider Kaixa, because this is the era where they translate it specifically as Masked Rider. It's whatever. And then on the back, there's nothing really on the sides. On the back, it says S.H.Figuarts Kamen Rider Kaixa. Barcode again, more Japanese. Pretty usual stuff for this style of box. So let's get this out of the box so that we can take a look at the actual toy. Pull it out because it's a Shinkocchou Seihou box. Oh. There we have him. There we have our boy Kaixa. I really should release this video on September 13th. I'm not going to do that. This is a new item. Here we have the Kaixa Shinkocchou Seihou box in all its glory, and it's exactly as you would expect it because Shinkocchou Seihou boxes are fairly standard, though they are very nice. At the front, we have this nice, like, edited photo of Kamen Rider Kaixa's bust, him with his head, his helmet really, a little bit of the shoulders, and you can see his arm pointing outwards. Bandai Namco logo in the corner, little Tamashii Nation seal quality there. Kamen Rider Kaixa, designed in Japan, produced in China, Tamashii Nations and Bandai. Top and bottom have the S.H.Figuarts logo on a black background in a nice shiny foil, which is very nice. I love it. And as you can see, it's the same at the top. On the sides, you get the character's name in English. In this instance, it's Masked Rider Kaixa. Kamen Rider Kaixa, whatever. But yes, it looks very nice, and that's the same on either of these sides. Obviously, you can see it's that same slipcover style box, which is so nice and pretty. And on the back, you get your usual Shinkocchou Seihou promo images, him pulling at his collar, him punching, him using the sword, him doing his rider kick. A bunch of stuff in Japanese, which I can't read, unfortunately, so tell me what that says in the comments below. This is for ages 15 and up. So, children, get the fuck out of here. This is a channel for adults and adult collectors, as well as potential parent buyers, depending on the product. This is an adult product specifically, so that's the box, which is oh so pretty. Let's get it unboxed though, because what's inside, I'm sure, is going to be even prettier, because this is working off the Fies base mold, which is one of the best, in my opinion. There we are. Yes, we get the tape off the sides. We have a little slip of paper. It says Kamen Rider Kaixa. This is the little instruction manual. Shows you everything that the figure can do. And then... Oh, it looks so good. You have the figure in the box. It looks so nice. But, given how we do things, I gotta take it entirely out of the little slip. Yes, here we have the accessory palette, which is kind of insane, because he actually kind of comes with a full swath of stuff that you would need. Let's start with the hands, where he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of hands, as well as one extra hand. And the extra hand I believe is the neck gripping pose hand, or maybe it's just a gripping hand. Let's actually check. I can check. I can check these things. Okay, no, this is for the buckle piece, the little punchy part. And as you can tell, it is very nicely done. The little yellow lines on the back are very clean, all things considered. There's a little bit of paint slop, but not really noticeable outside of really up close. And his silver fingertips, which this one's got a little bit of paint slop on it, but that's okay. Or is that like a residue? It seems easily pick-offable. Yeah, he's got a really nice sculpt as well, just the ribbed finger lines into the silver tip, just the straight silver tips. That just looks so, so good. Yeah, this hand looks great. I think it'll work well with that punchy part. Moving on with the hands, we have this set of trigger finger hands, very functional for this. Let's do a nice double-sided look. This gives you a better look at the interior of the hands, which have some nice detailing of their own. Again, very nicely lined, very nicely, there's like there's a little bit of lining in there that is on account of making space for the phone that he shoots with, because his phone is a gun. But yes, again, got more of that very nice detailing, that base black with those nice little shots of paint, which looks nice. Then we have some somewhat open palm hands. Let's get that open. This is obviously gripping something. I'm not exactly sure what. Maybe it's like his leg or whatever. I haven't seen Fies. I still need to see Fies. Come on, focus. There we are. As you can see, that gives you a nice look at that sort of diamond patterning on the inside of the glove, which is so nicely done. I love it so much. Yes, even more nice silver paint on the fingertips, and of course the little yellow lines on the back are still there. Very big grip though. Next up, we have, I believe this is for the collar pose. It's sort of like a pinch, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is meant to tug at his collar. A very iconic Kaixa pose. Again, very well done. As you can see, got more of that nice lining, and the posing on those hands is very nice. It's a very strong pose. Next up is a sort of another hand for the phone, though I guess it's more so for holding it like as a phone. You get a full pair of that. Again, that nice slot there for the phone. Otherwise, very nicely sculpted like the others and painted as well. And then you have just a standard pair of relaxed hands as you would hope and expect for. Very nicely posed, very nice and relaxed. And then an even more relaxed pair of hands just for strolling down the street or on the beach or whatever. Haha. Again, they're all very nicely painted. They all seem to not really have any real QC issues. But yes, that allows us to move on to other accessories that come with the figure, because he comes with fucking more. I guess we'll start with this. He comes with an alternate leg for something. I don't know exactly what pose this is. This does swap out from the little bit that allows you to hook on the, I guess, the Kaixa pointer or whatever. His like sword onto the leg or whatever for like his final attack. Or like he has a different Kaixa pointer-y thing. And this one doesn't have that, I guess, so it's a different look. I imagine there's a reason in the show for it that I haven't gotten to because I haven't seen the show yet. I really should see Fies. Yes, it has a full-on hole, so I guess there's like an internal part, I guess, that you gotta swap out with, which seems a little annoying, but let's actually see how that works. Okay, in the instructions, it says there's like a hole, like you gotta take off the ball joint of the foot and like the hook on the inside. I'll have to check what that's for from the show, but yes. Speaking of, kind of similar to Fies from before, we get the little punchy thing. It's like meant to be like a camera or like a scanner or whatever. It has a little Fies or Kaixa plate in there, and it has a little Smart Brain logo, nice and well done there, all things considered. It's in a darker metal. It has the SB813 or whatever. Have that go down so you can put the fist in there and you can punch. This is obviously a separate part because the one on the waist is way smaller. They do some funky size stuff in Fies sometimes for some of these accessories, but yeah. Okay, that's all gun stuff. Let's go to the leg armor. This is his pointer, the Kaixa pointer. It's a pair of binoculars, I guess, and it looks very well detailed again. It looks almost exactly like the prop, but on a smaller scale. It's got so much nice greebling, and the metallic paint looks so pretty. And the little Smart Brain logo, I don't know if you can see that. It's just so small, but so well detailed and so well done. Here's the back side of it, so you can see the base version of it. It's on clear plastic, I guess, because it is binoculars, so be careful with it. But yeah, I don't know if you can actually see through it, but And of course, there is, for his final attack, the extended version, with the little Fies thing on it, or Kaixa thing, sorry. Obviously it looks all swung out, and it's ready to, like, attack and point. And it just looks really good. It's very nicely done, very nicely detailed again. It has a little signet right there. And it just looks good. Ugh, so many little details. For when he's using the punchy thing, he also comes with a clear-backed, empty little holster for his waist, so that's also usable, which is nice. Moving on, I guess, to the main weapons. We'll start with the Kaixa phone. It doesn't seem like this version has an opening gimmick, unfortunately, unlike the original Fies phone, so instead they just gave you separate parts. So here's the Fies phone open without the front of it on, I guess. I guess you gotta swap that out from one of the other parts. But it does look nice. I like the little printing on the lower phone screen, because if you don't know, it sort of has in real life, it has like a swivel there at the center, and so you flip it like that. So yeah, it's nice to have that tiny little screen. It doesn't seem like a very practical phone, but it's very much in that flip phone era where they all have weird, interesting gimmicks, and it has some nice smart brain printing, some nice screen printing. The little buttons look nice. Now, of course, as it is a Fies-style weapon, it can also be a gun. And it honestly works a little bit nicer than the Fies one did. Here's the backside, so you can get that nice, sleek back of phone look, which looks really good. And of course, still have that little screen there, and it's pointed to be more like gun-like, and it has a little blaster port, and I don't know, it's just really cool. I like the little gun flip phone. But of course, the main element that really sets this figure apart over Kaixa is that Fies, is that he actually has his sword, the whatever it's called. It comes with a couple of parts. I think this is going to be gun mode parts. So you have this little extant part that's nice and silvery that I believe allows it to be in gun mode, which does look nice, though how exactly that swaps on, I'm not exactly sure. There's a big nub on it, though. I might have to sand that down, we'll see. Or I can probably chip that off with my fingernail. We'll see. There's a big nub on it. I don't know if you saw. A big nub. Nice gold. Looks nice. And of course, this little Kaixa looking symbol that goes alongside that blaster mode. The nubs on here will get hidden, but as you can see, there's a nice little bit of paint right there. You have that Kaixa symbol. But of course, the main event is the sort of Kaixa sword gun thing, which is so nicely done. Obviously, it has that main big X shape that it has, and a little bit of a blaster look right there, but of course there's just so much tiny little detail. Some panel lining there, the Smart Brain logo, the little SB913X or whatever. On the back, even more detailing. The gold seems to be a little bit faded on this side, but that's alright. And even more of that gray detailing though, just sets it apart. And fittingly, it has two blades. First off, the fully painted version of the blade, silver on the back, a nice gold paint there, a nice yellowy gold paint, which is just shining so nicely on the lights of the camera here. There's a little peg hole that I imagine goes like into one of the specialty ports. I think those are probably for sword mode, which I'll get to. And then a secondary blade, which is in clear plastic. I'm a little scared of this one, but it is almost lightsabery. The silver honestly looks a little bit nicer on this. Of course, it gives the blade itself a nice glowy look, able to really refract whatever the light. It looks so good. And of course, that's all the accessories, but that is a lot for an S.H.Figuarts. It makes it really feel worth its while, pricing wise. Let's actually see how that sword works so that I can check it out later. Okay, I see. I'll get that working later. That means all that's left to look at is the figure himself. So why don't we? Another nice clamshell allows us to get Kaixa. Yes. Yes. There's a little bit of flippage on this phone. The phone does flip out a little bit. I guess for gimmickery's sake as well. Oh my god, I didn't... Okay. And it also has a fully flipped phone, I guess, because... Oh, it's because of the panel that's out. Okay. This phone, the plateless phone, does flip. It does flip. Update, news update. It does flip. Okay. But yeah, there are little bits of paint block plastic around each angle, but nowhere else. Interesting indeed. Looking sharp in that darker much darker color scheme. Like Fai's also had a lot of black on him, but I don't know, he had a lot more silver, I think. The darker gray of his metal, of Kaixa's metal, is really making him stand out. And of course he has the extra little bits of armor here. I'm gonna move back the accessories so that we can just get a good proper spin of Kaixa himself. Yeah, so much extra metallic line detail. So cool. Let's get a close-up look of Kaixa, though, because he's looking very good. He's leaving me speechless again, which Seihou tends to do, unfortunately, which makes these videos very boring. The head is that nice Kaixa helmet, basically perfect from the screen model. You have the big X that goes down the face because he's got that Roman numeral Kai thing going on, with the two little round bits that create that almost circle around it, which has that nice ribbed purple big eye look, which just looks so good. It's always so nice. The little crusher mouth as well, with these almost like Vulcan blasters around it, and all the little extra lined details here at the top of the head are almost even more impressive than that. The little black lines here on like the X's going down to the back of the head. The yellow line, they seem well painted enough. Yellow is a pretty hard color to do, so there's a little bit of bleed through from the black under, but it is surprisingly nice looking, all things considered, for all that yellow. Like, look at that little bit of mechanical detailing here at the back of the neck. Oh my god. But yes, the torso also has some very subtle color differences. Obviously, there's the big yellow X going down it and up to the shoulder pads, but the nice little, almost like metallic dark gray that he has on his torso really does shine interestingly, and like it creates a interesting, like, slight contrast with the black base bodysuit that Kaixa does have. Of course, there is the little bit of like ribbing on the neck with the yellow lines going down, which again does look very nice. Yeah, and like the silver collar and the silver lines going up into the shoulder pads for his like almost bumblebee look that he has, which is very fun. But yes, arms have the double striped lines going all the way down onto some nice ribbed upper and lower parts, though the fairly plain like bicep is there, but it mainly accentuates the little yellow lines. The silver cufflinks are very nicely painted. The silver is very clean, very nicely done, and the joints don't look to get much in the way aesthetically. And of course, we still have these hands, very nicely painted. Even in the fists, they have those little silver tips of the fingertips. Little mid-torso piece similar to Fai's, I believe, is in a rubber, I believe. Oh, gotta be careful with this. It does come undone fairly easily, so just be careful of the Kaixa driver, which I believe I'm putting in right? Yeah, be careful. It stays in fairly well, but don't knock it around too much. Yes, the yellow lining on the rubber does look nice, and the rubber doesn't stand out too much, which is pretty surprising, all things considered, but it will allow that inner torso piece to get out of the way for articulation quite nicely. The belt, very expertly detailed, even past the phone. We got little bits of, like, sculpted detail on the inside, and the little blue button right there at the top. The golden lines on the side and the silver bits. Everything is painted to perfect detail. And it just looks so good. Of course, there's the mechanical detailing on this, which is a softer plastic to help it get out of the way while also still being able to hold the weapon when not in use. I'm almost certainly going to have it used. Legs, obviously the waist has that Shinkocchou Seihou style crotch piece, like multi-part thing that's almost Spider-Man-esque, but it does look pretty good given the all-black look, and it hides its lines very well by sculpting them into the double-lined bits that go down the legs, which is very clever, honestly. Like, look at that. It adds a little bit of definition and detail to those, but like hides the little bits of articulation. I love to see it. Yes, they go down into the nice little knee pads, which are done in silver and yellow, which again look nice. Down to the legs, which have even more nice silver detailing. This side especially has the little bit there, which looks great. Oh, that goes on the ass. There's a little asshole. And this goes on the ass. Gotta put that on the ass, sorry. While I still can, so that you can get the full look. Gotta put that on the ass. Gotta put the little pointer on the ass. There we are. That's perfect. That's perfect. I love the pointer on the ass. I love putting the pointer on the ass. But yeah, that moves down to the little cufflinks, which are, again, softer plastic so they can get out of the way of the feet and have the nice little yellow bits of detailing, which contrasts really nicely with the silver. It, again, is very well painted, especially in the smaller details. Like, ugh. And then we get down to the feet, which are very similar to the Phi's feet, where they have this little bit here that moves down to the flat part of the foot. We have the silver lining around and the single yellow line going down, and of course, tons of detail under the feet so that he can get good rider kick poses. And yeah, I don't know, he's more Phi's aesthetically, which that Phi's figure has gone up a lot in my estimation since I did the top whatever list of that year. It's probably my favorite figure of that year, looking back on it. And it's just because the figure is so solid but well detailed and just such a good design in general, and brought to its furthest extent in this action figure form. And honestly, I think I can say the same about this Kaixa. It is the encapsulation of, from what I've seen, a fucking asshole of a character in all the best ways. But yeah, it's just so well done. The subtleties in the different color separation picks, whatever, and just all of the detailed sculpting with everything having a nice little bit of painted detail to a level that I would not expect from any other line. It's just what makes Shinkocchou Seihou one of my favorite toy lines that I can get on the market, and I just love it. But, of course, as a Shinkocchou Seihou, it also has to have good articulation. So, let's see it. So, head and neck are on ball joints, able to swivel around all nicely, and there's a surprising amount of range for a character with such a tight collar. He's able to look up with the two joints that far, which is very good. Down that far, which again, very good. There's less range on, well, not so much. There's actually good range on those. And tilt side to side, again, great range for a character with such a tight collar. It's great. The shoulder pads are on a soft, like, rubber, so be careful with that. But they are sort of not ringed around, but they just kind of float there. So alongside that, they're able to get out of the way to allow the arm to go up super duper far. Very nice. Not quite last shooting, but close enough. You can kind of get full rotation. You kind of got to work with the shoulder pad. The shoulder pad's going to stay in place, but as it should. It's meant to be attached. Okay, yeah, that popped off a little bit easily, I guess, because it's soft plastic, but that pops right back in. Your shoulder can go all the way around. You got to work around this. It's not going to rotate around, which is fine. I know some people would want it to rotate around, but it's meant to stay stuck to the torso armor, so it's fine. Yes, alongside that, there is general rolling joint and a slight butterfly. Can't really go super forward with the butterfly, unfortunately, but it makes sense. The armor is very tight. It allows for some decent posability options. You get a bicep swivel, as is expected. Double jointed elbow, which goes only about that far, which is a little unfortunate, but I get it. The armor and bicep does get in the way. No real swivel or hinge at the bicep, but that works. Swivel, hinge, swivel at the wrist, as is expected. Fairly large for that ball, interestingly. Torso has ball joint at the top, ball joint at the bottom. Allows it to arc back in total that far. Sheesh. And of course forward, even with the belt, it has no problem getting a nice forward arch. Again, that rubbery torso does work very well. And of course, side to side. Oh, just amazing. It's a little frustrating to get the lines all fully lined up, but once you're able to get there, it works. Hips are on the usual universals, so they're able to kick forward about that far. It does kind of kick outward, but that's okay. Kick backward about that far. Again, kicks back outward a little bit thanks to the butt, but yes, he's able to kick back all the way and outward all the way, basically all the way. There's a little bit more I might want, but that's basically all you need. Thigh swivel is on a ball joint, so it can have a little bit of inward, but mostly it's thigh swivel. Double jointed knee, nice and tight, not super over-engineered, not able to get as far as you might want, but that's more than enough, really. And the inner knee does continue the V-lining, if you are wondering, so that's beautiful as always. No real boot cut, but there is a swivel up at the top of the foot. And of course, these ankles are these wonderful ankles that I just love, which are able to go back pretty dang far, forward pretty dang far despite itself, and angle inward basically all the way. I love this style of ankle. It was on the Phi's, where it's like a ball joint at the top, ball joint at the bottom. And of course it's on the Kaixa, for the rubber chest, you will want to be careful not to let the plastic or paint rub too much in articulation. But yeah, he feels great. And like all of his joints are nice and tightly toleranced. So you're not going to have trouble getting him into any pose that you want. The only thing that you might want to worry about is that popping off, but it works fine. It stays on tightly enough as long as you don't get too crazy with it. But yes, surprisingly, the Shinkocchou Seihou Kaixa, based on the Shinkocchou Seihou Faiz, which is a really good figure, is a good figure. It's not surprising in its goodness. It's basically another copy of the Faiz in new colors with more accessories, and as such is a little bit better on that front. But yeah, I don't really know what to say other than this is a very good figure that if you get the chance, you should go find it and pick it up. Try to get it for about retail, but I do think it is worth retail price, which can sometimes vary for S.H.Figuarts. Sometimes you should get them on sale. But this one does feel, if you are into the design, into the look, into how it seems to feel as a toy, is very well worth it. One of the best releases of the year, I have to say, and I don't regret picking it up. That's the video. Hopefully not too crazy, but yes, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do all the usual YouTube stuff. Leave a like on the video. Leave me a comment, leaving your thoughts, whatever may relate to it. Check out the channel for previous videos. I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing on Faiz, but I have a ton of other Kamen Rider videos that I've done before, and be sure to subscribe for future Kamen Rider videos. Hopefully, whenever they do the tertiary Rider from Faiz, I'll also be able to pick that up. So, stay tuned for that, as well as other Kamen Riders. I'm sure Nox is on the way at some point. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see you all around. Bye-bye!